Who are we missing? We're missing Cade, and Colt is going to be late, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so
I'm
where
now
did we leave
recording as well.
off?
I don't know if I
Awesome.
uploaded the last one. Anyway.
I believe we left off right before you were all going to the Grove. You had all woken up in the morning and been ready to set out the night before. Cade had a very interesting conversation with a beautiful lady named Shulia, who the group got quickly introduced to in some manner as a prominent figure in Cade's past. You all had a good time drinking and talking. Seems like most of your carousing and general downtime work went well as you kind of passed the stories back and forth over the table. Magnu gained a proficiency in water vehicles, or at least a knowledge of water vehicles as a skill. Cade got his familiar back eventually. I believe Cyrus had an encounter of his own that was interesting. Adana found a beautiful sword. Warren got some skill work in, if I believe correctly, if I remember right.
Crafting.
That's it. There we go. And that's right. Cade and Cyrus both got.
Oh yes.
I'm sorry, no, it was Nimloth who went and did research in the libraries.
Correct.
And got
Yep.
medical skills for it.
I got
what?
No,
No, I'm sorry. What?
He got the lore books.
Lore books. There we go.
yeah.
That's it. Yes, got the lore books for their time spent. The others did medic duty and training in herbalism to increase their proficiencies. Cool. So, I believe. Let me see. Everybody's got Roll20 and character sheets up. Being a thing.
Correct.
Yes.
Cool.
We left off.
Looking to some children.
Yeah, looking into children, looking into street urchins.
Yes.
Waiting
Thank
for
you.
Johnny.
I do remember. I'm sorry, it's been 2 weeks.
You're fine.
Yes. So upon seeing some street urchins, Magnu decided to tackle one of them. He was stealing from a cart and kind of exposed the kid, made the kid give back the stuff, embarrassed him a little bit, and then you all ended up tailing the kid and following them to eventually talking with them and having them lead you to their quote-unquote hideout or base of operations in the forest of Tathir, just outside of the town of Mosstone. This little boy, Johnny, cute, innocent, and probably in the wrong crowd, is kind of taking you all to this large treehouse where you were met with a number of other young folk, small children alike, that had basically kind of set out their well-standing tree fort society. What that actually means is that they follow some guy named Johnny, and he's kind of the leader of this gang of thieves and pickpockets that seem to be stealing for survival more than anything else. But you all were invited up into the tree to wait for Johnny, and you saw their little setup, the little bedding area they have, some means of doing clothes and wash, small, like, little pantry type area of stolen foods and things like that, and a couple rundownish kind of like seating arrangements and couches and things. It's not the best life, but they seem to have something going on up here, and you're not completely sure if it's sustainable or not. But that's right. So that is where we left off. I did not write notes about Johnny. This was kind of on the fly. I should listen
I
to
tackled the kid.
sessions. You did tackle the kid. That is exactly what happened. Cool. And I forgot all the names and the voices, so I need to be better about that. So as you're sitting up in the tree, the kid's seemingly talking to you and not completely shying away from you. They're a little bit shy of grown folk, tall folk, adults, as they call you. And they seem a little bit hesitant, but they're sitting there talking back and forth with you, waiting for this presumable Johnny to arrive. About an hour or so passes. You're sitting up in this tree. And then, almost excitedly, you hear, oh boy, oh, they're back. Oh, oh yeah. Hey, Johnny. And any of you who would look over the edge of this tree fort would see a young boy, probably about 16 himself, um, kind of walking back up the little trail that you all had passed through, holding a small sack over his shoulder. And as he hears the voice ring out, you just see him like raise a hand and wave up. And he begins to climb up. He pauses for a moment, looks at the rickety climbing structure that they had, notices that it's been kind of modified. He's like, Billy, what's going on? Oh, well, we had some visitors. Uh, they seem like nice people. You didn't let them. Well, why'd you go and do a thing? And you hear the wood as he starts climbing up it towards you all. Moments later, the sack comes through the opening first, and then the boy himself kind of appears. Frazzled blonde hair, pale skin. He seems to have a slash mark over his cheek, probably about quarter-inch deep. And he's wearing just like regular tattered kind of like clothes and a little bit of leather. As he climbs up and takes them, he's like, "What the hell are you all doing out here? What? Billy, why'd you bring them back here?" "Well, they caught me, and then they said they wanted to help, so I figured they might want to help." Johnny kind of looks over at you and I was like, "What? What do you want?"
I step forward and I, show him that my hands are empty, and I'm kind of like, well, Johnny, we wanted to learn a little bit more about your situation, see if there's anything we could do.
Emma looks dismissively at you and just, "I don't think there's anything anybody can do. We're just kind of here, out on our own. No one to take care of us but us. We do a decent job." And he kind of like sets the sack down, and the top of it kind of like furls open slightly, and you just see different types of produce and things in the bag itself. Maybe a little bit of meat, a few eggs here and there, just food kind of brimming out of the top of the bag. But we don't need no help. And he kind of looks over at Billy as he says this. What? I mean, unless you got money, if you got money, you could use it. But we're doing just fine on our own. Everyone's got
Well,
a bed, which is more than I can say for where we used to be.
I look around to verify what he's saying, and I kind of nod, and I say, well, we do have money, Johnny. We're, as you can see, adventurers. Um, we're not the type of folks that would probably hang out outside of, uh, I guess you could call us mercenaries, outside of a mercenary band. Yes, we have money, but no, not something that we're going to give away for free. This would be more of a, I don't know, a business relationship between us, perhaps.
You hear Billy over in the corner. What's up, business?
uh, my helmet comes up off of my face, and I kind of smile at him. I'm like, "Well, a business is what you guys steal from all the time. That's a business. Someone who
Oh, that's big people
professionally,
stuff.
yeah, big people stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't like big people stuff.
Well, that's fair, Billy. Not a lot of us do. Um,
Even big people don't like big people stuff.
yeah.
Very true.
I mean, look at me. I grew up. I was groomed for big people stuff, and I ran away. So I completely understand that that might not be your cup of tea, so to speak.
1 second. Sorry. Just want to make sure of one thing.
Mhm.
Billy's gonna look at you, kind of like look you eye level. But you grew up, but you're still Billy's height.
Yes, Billy. Is Billy human?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's a little
Yeah.
human boy.
Yes, Billy. I am a gnome. I'm gonna let my armor open so that he can see like where my feet are. I'm on like 4-inch platforms inside the armor.
Nice. You just see him like awestruck a little bit. He's like, oh, I've heard of gnomes. I haven't seen a gnomes, but I heard of gnomes. And then he kind of goes over to the girl that's been sitting there, kind of on the side, Emily. Emily, they're adventurers. He's a gnome. Yes, Billy, I see that.
And,
Wow.
and dragon. We have a little dragon.
And the kid just like he's noticed, but he's just like,
Yeah.
Emily, they got a dragon. And Johnny just kind of like, so then, what would you? I'm like working for anything. What would you propose?
I don't know, Johnny. What would what would it take to support you and your family here per week?
Like scratches his chin, thinks about it. You can see the gears turning. Like, what does he actually need to survive? Like, that's where his brain's at.
Mhm.
Um,
Like, how much did that sack of food cost you? And is it enough to live?
I turn to Magnu and I'm like, I suspect he had a 5-finger discount for that sack of food.
some of it, yeah, but no. This will last us probably about a week or two, and
Night
I ended up having to
can
sell some of the stuff that we stole, but it cost me around 12 gold for the 2 weeks.
Magnu was to
That
like
should
reach
last
into the
us.
bag and start like taking stuff out. Could he like appraise like how much is there and if it's enough to
Sure.
like a living?
As you kind of like start sifting through the bag and just like dragging man just like right at the bag. At first, Johnny tries to stop you. Just, whatever. Oh God, so embarrassing. And as you're just like sifting through, he's not falsing you. It's probably about 15 to 20 golds worth of food. It's a decent spread when all is considered. It's a lot of like dry stock and things to make stuff with.
Mhm.
Um, it's not like anything fully prepared. It's all like stuff that would have to be cooked and just in its rawest form. But conservatively, it could probably last about a week and a half, and probably feed the at least you've seen 5, maybe 6 of these kids at this point.
Mhm.
Um, but you're unsure if there's more or less. So a reasonable estimate from Magnu just sifting through stuff would probably be about 12 gold a week.
Mhm.
And he would come to just about as much of a figure. He'd probably try and shoot for 13, but
That feels like a lot of gold. Like, sorry,
That's-
Octavo, is
it's
That's
that
not a
normal?
lot.
It's not.
No?
No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
2 gold a
depending.
night
you-
for us
So
to stay at the nicest
When you
place.
go through and make the character what was it? It's like poor lifestyle is about $1 a day
Mhm.
per person.
Yeah.
I mean that's about what that is. That's about
Yeah.
$1 a day for a week and a half per person.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
1 gold per child,
Mm.
6 gold for the group that we can see per week. Right?
yeah, something
Yeah.
close to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something close to that. Yeah.
So
And it's not a extremely comfortable life, but it's a living.
It's enough to live. Yeah.
Hmm.
I look at Johnny and I give a little nod. I'm like, okay, tell me this, Johnny. You all live in a city of druids, right? These are people who like to help people, from what I can tell. Where are you kids from, and why have you not gotten any help from big people?
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I need to pull up a map. Because maps, all the maps. Um, cool. Johnny, you kind of mentioned we're all orphans in some capacity. I escaped from Zassipur a number of years ago. Emily was with me there. It's horrible, wretched conditions. And we ended up making our way up to here near Mossstone, where we found Billy, and he kind of keeps listing off where they've all come from, and this, that, and the third. The premise is that Billy at some point was orphaned by marauders attacking their caravan. They have a history in Zassipar as orphans. At least 3 of them do, and had all escaped from some orphanage that was ghastly. And then they picked up stragglers along the way.
So they're mostly from South Mostone.
So okay, yeah. So they're not from Mossstone.
Not particularly.
So none of the adults really care about them.
Mm.
Interesting.
They'll kind of like snidely say, people in Mossstone are nice and generous, and they don't usually give chase. It makes it easier to survive out here. But they're not willing to gift us anything because we're outsiders. We don't look the part. We don't play the part. And they're well aware of that.
Where in Mossstone is the treehouse? Is it like outside of Mossstone?
Treehouse
it-
is in the forest outside of Mossstone.
Okay.
On the edge
so
of
It's
the
not
well.
like
Where's Alzarth?
it's not dangerous where they are, right?
You
I
haven't
mean, it's the
particularly
Waldorf.
seen danger, yeah. Well, it's not dangerous.
We
it's also
do
like-
know
Mhm.
we do know that the spiders coming out of the forest was an unusual event, so we can kind of assume that this is a fairly safe area.
Yeah.
So it would be
Okay.
on this forest edge of Mossstone.
Like they're close enough to be in the influence of Mossstone, but not like owned, quote unquote, by Mossstone.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I mean, Magnew's feeling this hard, like as an orphan himself at this point. Like the situation sucks. So I guess he would turn to the
That
group
sucks.
and be like, "Well, we're currently on our way to do something, but if we came back and could work something out with merchants in Mossstone to get food regularly delivered here for a cost, and then maybe I don't know what would the kids do for us if we're making a business out of this?"
Well, doesn't necessarily have to be for us. I mean, I look at the kids and show like, You have to realize you're not going to be kids forever.
Yeah. But that's like a long way away.
Yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can't, I don't know, find something fun to do that would also mean you get food that's not stealing. I mean, any of you like animals?
Oh, Emily likes animals. She won't say it because she's shy, but she likes animals a lot. She's
I'm
got birds and pets, and
I'm sure the druids would like someone to help them with the animals, and they'd help feed you.
she kind of like looks over. But would they really forgive us for stealing so much?
I think they would. You haven't had any other choice.
I mean, we could work with them and
Yeah,
help you.
we could ask them for you. Then you don't have to ask them yourselves if you're scared.
You see Johnny kind of like almost itching at this point. Just this all sounds well and good, but what happens when you leave? What happens when they don't keep their word? What happens then?
They will keep their word.
Can't
I give
trust
him a
anybody.
reassuring look.
Well, Johnny,
That's what they said about the orphanage. And he kind of looks over at his whole crew and
Well,
his motley crew and just kind of like assessing them.
Mhm.
what if, like, I would like, above table, like, we needed some
Mhm.
way for them to be able to contact us, right?
Mhm.
Right.
And we
Mhm.
have one sending stone on us already.
Mhm.
What if we bought another one or found another one?
They are made as pairs above table.
Well, then why don't we buy another pair
Yeah.
if we
That's
could find
true.
a pair?
I'm sure we
You
could find a
try.
pair,
I'm
but
sure you could
I'd be
find
down
something.
for that.
If
I
you
mean,
can find a way to do it, you could absolutely do it.
it's
I don't know if
Moss
anywhere
full
would
of.
sell it, but
I mean, how do you get a sending stone? I don't even know how to get a sending stone.
I know a
and
place that
neither
sells
would
magical
Magnum. That's great.
items.
That's true. You do. And there might be one there.
Well, here's what we
Or
can
two
do for
there. Or
now.
maybe even three there.
Here's what we could do for now. Is Magna just like pulls out his backpack and pulls out like his pouch of gold and gives them 100 gold, and it's like, we have somewhere to be now, but we will be back in due time, and we'll find a way so that we can stay in contact. So if someone doesn't hold up their end, you can yell at us, and we will be there.
You hand the 100 gold to Johnny.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You see him just take the bag and open it up, look inside. Uh,
Mm.
he kind of reaches in, grabs a piece of it, and will take a bite onto it to try to make sure it's actual gold. And it's just like speechless. You almost see a tear kind of come up in his eyes. Like, you're serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an
He
orphan
kind of
too.
looks over.
You're older than me.
He just kind of like shakes his head.
Nimloth looks confused.
Um. Okay. Right. We will. We'll stop stealing from the local people for now. At least until this runs out, and hope that you can actually come through on your promise. He kind of looks over at the kids. He's like, "All right, you hear that? No more going into town for now." And that means you, Billy. He's like, "Oh, okay, but my friends are gonna miss me there." It's like, fine, you can go in town to see your friends, but don't t- just avoid the usual game for a while. Okay. And he kind of looks at you, looks down at you, Magna, and just. Thank you for this. I guess we'll just wait and hope that you come back.
We'll be back.
He kind of like steps out of the way and like goes over to talk with Billy and Emily, and just like he takes the bag of gold over, and you see Billy kind of like trying to like reach into it to see what's in there. And he opens it up, and you just see like gleaming sparks out of Billy's eyes. He's like, that, what? Thank you, Mr. Dragon Man.
So
Why
I
are you
think
always coming up with the perfect photos for what I'm looking at?
I know, right? Because AI generation.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that
Hey,
makes sense.
Oh,
You
is
know
that an AI picture?
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna knock AI. Like I put in a statement of like what we were talking about, and it just prompted something like awesome. So
That's kind of wild.
Great.
That's insane. But something similar, yes. That makes a lot of sense and gives a good visual. God, I need to be smarter and use that type of stuff. Yeah, but he'll kind of be chatting with them. And as you see, one of the other kids kind of goes and grabs the bag that Johnny had brought up and kind of like starts dragging it toward where their pantry area is and starts unloading stuff and putting things away. Seems like you have come to some sort of resolution on these little ruffians.
I'm gonna approach Johnny and ask him
Mhm.
to like step off to the side.
He'll kind of like hand the bag to Billy for a second. Don't spend it all in one place. And he'll kind of like walk over. You just see Billy like, I can spend it. He kind of like walks away and walks over to you.
I'm gonna say, well, I was gonna say don't spend it all in one place, but looks like you have that covered. Um, yeah, I mean that's really what I wanted to share. I grew up in business. I've seen a lot of men, grown humans, get a lot of money at once, and there's this temptation to just splurge, to live a way you've never been able to live before. Just wanted to let you know to be on the lookout for that.
I appreciate that. We've been struggling for a while. We know how to stretch money. This will go a decent way to stretching that money. As much as this group is kind of my family now, we've always found ways to live as modestly as possible. Even when we got more than we needed, we never spent more than we needed. There, we aren't well off, but we're well managed. But thank you.
Well, that's good to hear. We're gonna go talk to the druids today, and maybe next time you're in Moss Stone, someone might approach you about opportunities for elevating your quality of living.
You see him nod his head, kind of understanding. All right then.
I pat him on the back and turn to the rest of the group.
And we'll kind of go back over. It's like, Billy, I said don't spend it. Oh, but I was just gonna. No. And they just trail off into a conversation. And he's joking with the kid. Yep.
I'm gonna
Right.
clap Magno on the back and say, "Get on you, buddy. We should probably get going."
And as you all descend the newly formed stairs made by Warren, and get down to the actual base of the tree and begin the path back toward Mossstone, takes you only about 30 minutes or so before you're back on the main road and able to head down toward the Druid Grove. The sun is decently overhead at this point. You make your way down to the Druid Grove. As you arrive, obviously you are let in by the initial watch that protects the grove itself. And you were instructed to the oak chamber, which is in the heart of this large grove. Nimloth, you had passed by it before, and I believe Cyrus also passed by it as he was doing medicinal work and things, but never had actually been there. The location you were pointed to is, as it states, this large root and center of this oak tree that kind of like sprawls up through the rocks and the surroundings around it, kind of reaches up and covers most of the grove. There is a large oval door, double entry door that adorns the front of this massive structure, and you can see just like nature and vines have totally reclaimed this thing in a druidically artistic way. It seems like everybody keeps it up, and it looks amazingly majestic as a general door itself. Standing outside the door are two druids with double-bladed glaives, and they would recognize you. One of them will speak up. Welcome to the Oak Chamber. We were expecting you a little bit earlier, but we have been given permission to allow you to enter, as you have been invited to the convergence of the Council of Five. Kind of opens the door, and the other one will kind of walk in front of you all. Come this way.
I follow.
As you follow and walk into this large door. At first, the difference in light to not light kind of like throws you off, and your eyes have to adjust for a moment as you get into this not dimly lit, but less lit than bright sunshine outside. A large chamber of sorts. Think gigantic main hallway, two large oaken staircases that kind of breach up into another balcony, completely made of earth terrain and roots of the trees and things like that. Everything is smooth, but everything is completely made of this tree and the rocks that surround it. As you all walk in, you see on the first level where you're at, there's a large set of doors that is shut. And then on the second level, there is a small set of doors directly above the large set of doors, kind of like faced into the large framing of everything. The guard kind of walks over to the left-hand staircase and begins leading you upwards, away from the large double doors and up the staircase to the smaller set in the center. Kind of pauses. It was. We know, Nimloth, you are representing your tribe in the absence of names. I am fucking horrible with names.
The absence of
I had it like right here. Not Silvermane. That's not your druid. God bless it.
Yeah. Savan Greentree.
Green Tree. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, I had all the names, and now I have none of the names, and now all the names are in a book somewhere. It's so much fun. Cool. So you are taking place as Savan. Well, do the rest of you have a title? Should we call you something on your announcement into the room, or do you just want to walk in?
No, we don't. We don't have a name or title that I'm aware of.
Very well. And he kind of pushes the door open, and he pushes one door open, and they both swing open together. And he kind of like steps into the room. Apologies. May I graciously present Nimloth, the representative for Lord Savan Greentree, and the adventurers you requested. As you all have been led into this room and walk into this room, you see a long, almost like banquet-style table heading this room, and you see 5 figures stationed on the other side of it. The room itself is beautiful. There is almost like it looks like it's marble, but it is actually the roots and wood of the tree kind of covering the entire floor of it. It almost seems like there's bits of stained glass in it to make it shimmer and shine. There is a large, like porthole type of window with a slightly opaque glass that allows beautiful sunlight to come into this room, and it adorns all of the wonderful oaken shelves, and it's just a tall, large chamber. And as you enter, you would hear Arceus Silvermane. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us. We have discussed most of our preliminary affairs, but we were expecting you earlier. That's relevant. Come this way, please. And as you all are invited up towards the table and a seat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because I'll say Cade's with you and Cyrus is with you too. We're just going to narrate that they're shadow characters right now. As you all approach the table, you now see the 5 figures at the table itself. And you also see, as Silvermane kind of like raises his staff and like taps it into the ground, you see 5 chairs kind of form, or 6 chairs, I'm sorry, kind of form out of the floor itself, made of roots and wedges and vines, and they are all appropriately sized to your heights.
That's awesome.
You see the table itself doesn't change, and instead, for my smaller folk, Magnu and Warren, they are smaller chairs, but they are raised up and almost have like a way to get up into them if necessary, like almost like a couple of step. In a welcoming gesture, he kind of creates these chairs for you all, and they're very nice chairs, comfy, if you choose to sit down. But you notice Silvermane in the center, obviously, the Archdruid of Mossstone. You notice oh my god, and now my notes are going to be gone again. I swear I write these things for a reason. Yes, you see a large man on the end, his face rugged and almost looks like stone itself. He is wearing like a burgundy kind of color robes and accoutrement. You see he has what appears to be like a set of, like, if you think brass knuckles but made of like rock on one of his hands. And you can now see more closely that his features they all look like almost like granite stone. You would also see a female druid with wolf pelt as her accoutrement, flavoring her cape and her outfit itself, with yellow eyes that almost have slits in them. Middle-aged, but very beautiful, fully elven, so you're not exactly sure how old she might be. But she's sitting in between the two of them. Then on the other side, you have oh my god, and that's gonna fuck me up. You have a beautiful, dark-skinned female wearing a silver crown with gems adorned in it, 3 sapphire gems adorned in it. Long, flowing white and ash gray robes, accompanied by just like these greens and golds and all this like texture to the fabric itself. She has her hair kind of pulled back, this long blonde hair kind of pulled back into a set of buns and not buns, wrapped braids that kind of pull back towards the back of her head. And she's sitting much taller than, well, I'd say she's standing, still standing. She stands taller than Silvermane does. She has long, slender features as far as her arms, her hands, and everything else is, but very beautiful. And then you also have a centaur female, who has seemingly left their weaponry beside their chair. or beside their area. Um, she is also fair-skinned from the waist up. The bottom is obviously Centaur Torsonis. But she is wearing a crown of leaves that adorn her head, and you can see just like one small braid of her black hair kind of like tied down by her face. And you all see the council in front of you. Silvermane will introduce everyone. To those of you not familiar with the Council of Five, my name is Arcanus Silvermane. You all know me. I am the Archdruid of Mossstone. On the end is Timor, the Land Shifter. He is molder and keeper of the lands. Make sure that everything is as it should be in the mountain regions. We also have Elwyn Ymora. She is one of the oldest druids that we have, and a master of the wild creatures. Brought to the council, we also have Sophiera, and he kind of points down toward the centaur priestess. She is one of the chosen of the Moon Mother. Her forces and her people protect all of the wood of the Well Death, and defend it from any intruders, outsiders, and untoward threats. And then we also have Lady Toleria Silverhand. She's the elven wood mother of Cisteria, the wisest seer they possess, and a great leader to her people. Of course, this is Nimloth. He is the representative for Lord Savon Greentree and the Wanderers who cannot be here. And this adventuring group, I mean, we're kind of like trying to get names right. Magnu, Adana, I believe you're Warman, Cyrus, Cade, was it? All of you have defended our southern border from a great plague that was attempted to be caused, and rightfully deserve a seat at the table as honorary champions of Mossstone. Well, that is only a title and titleage, not anything official. I'm grateful for your help, and I would appreciate your help in this matter as well with the Bay. If you would all be seated, please. And then everybody kind of like reconvenes, and you just see Sophia just kind of look down. Okay. Seated, right. Cool. So the council has been summoned. We've already had a long discussion about what's been happening in the Bay. But to catch you up to speed, the Fire Drake Bay is normally not. It normally has the coloration of a bay. More recently, there has been a large orange coloration that has taken over the majority of the waters, specifically near the center of the bay itself. We are curious as to what is causing this, and we've had some input about some theories or some ideas from the council members themselves. But we would like to get to the bottom of it to figure out if it's something endangering to us, the balance of nature, the well death itself, Mossstone in particular, but the bay as a whole. We would like to send your group, as you've been successful in the past, to figure out what is going on in our bay. Now, certain council members of mine have differing opinions on what it could possibly be. But Suffice to say, the bay has turned an unusual orange color. Not all of the bay, but certain parts of the center of it. And you hear Timor kind of exclaim out, sorry. It's not unlike the nesting grounds of those drakes in the south. Yes, you said that. However, I don't believe the drakes. I mean, they might be, but they've usually always been somewhat secluded to their own volcano. If I know anything, I'd blame those damn drakes. Duly noted. Kind of looks over at all of you. I guess first, would you all be interested in aiding us? Because if you're not interested, then we can always find somebody else. But you all seem like a shoe-in fit for the choice, being paired with this one. And I kind of point over to Nimloth respectfully.
I look back at the group and thoughts.
Warren nods. Like, yeah.
The bay, he kind of like looks over again. The bay has not had any coloration changes this drastic in recent memory. And while it is true, and he kind of looks down at Timor, the water does change color when the fire drakes lay their eggs and when the breeding season happens, but it's never extended throughout the bay. So I'm hesitant to believe that they have branched out. Teleria is going to kind of say at this point, if it is something that's affecting the land, the water, then it would quickly spread to affecting the forest and the nearby villages and towns. Whilst Hysteria is not near the coast and not near Mossstone, it is in our best interest to figure out what this problem is and prevent it from spreading. On top of the other problems we're dealing with in the Wild Death, this need not be one of ours. And she kind of like steps back as if saying something profound. Yeah. Arceus kind of looks over at the group of you all again. That is the main issue at hand. We've already conversed about the plagued temple that we are kind of restoring and trying to re-nurture the land around. And Telerio kind of speak up again. It's like, if that had actually gotten summoned properly, we'd be in a hell of a mess. We are grateful to you all. And she kind of looks over at the group. And though many of the nobles in Caesarea won't admit it, they probably owe you a decent debt. And then kind of pauses again.
Magnu nods at that, and he rifles through one of his bags and he pulls out what he collected from the trees and the spider ichor and the runes that were carved into the trees to kind of advance the decay and the poison.
I'm
kind of-
doing that?
Oh, I'm sorry, Warren, not Magnu.
I was sitting there, I was
I
like,
was
Did I
very
say
confused.
Magnu?
I
I
think
was
it
like,
might have you
I
did
just like,
twice. You're like,
hey,
Magnu
man.
does this. I was like, good for Magnu. I'm glad he
Good
had
for
a
Magnu.
choice in the matter.
No,
That was
Warren,
priceless.
I, me.
Yes.
Yeah. I set all that stuff on the table and kind of slide it over to them.
Mhm.
Well, sounds like you guys have discussed this already, but
Um,
also kind of sounds like you think it's over. You think Tolona is going to continue her efforts of an incursion?
Valeria kind of looks over the things that you've placed out. Um, Tolona has tried many times. We'll continue to try many times. But knowing that this is happening gives us a leg up and an advantage to keep an eye out for things like this more often. These runes are clearly meant to accelerate whatever effects that were supposed to happen. We have found many shrines to Tolona in these woods, most of which have been sealed away or protected by grove walkers, such as your tribe, as she kind of points over toward Nimloth. But we now know to be more vigilant, and we'll keep better watch as we try to restore the land. If she does come or attempt to come back, we'll be waiting. Rather than being in the dark, you have revealed that there are people trying to summon the plague goddess again. And that information should be enough for our watchers and wanderers to act accordingly. You kind of hear Safaria kind of speak up. Yeah, I mean, now that we know what the hell we're looking for, we're not gonna sit on our asses. And make sure we drive these bastards out of our woods. Well said, Safaria. Damn right it was. You kind of look over the entirety of the group again, and you see these druids kind of like thinking to themselves, convening. It seems like they've talked about a decent bit about the wood. I'm trying to think what else topics would be here. Sorry. The whole list of topics.
I
Party members
elbow
arrive.
Nimloth and sort of nudge him like, go, speak, do.
Do your thing.
Sorry, off table. Have we decided to just let them know that that about my corruption? Like, do they already know that the corruption is there? Like what I'm experiencing, or at least what my tribe is experiencing?
You
No.
told Silvermane that there was corruption. You didn't say anything about you.
Yep.
Right, because
Okay.
we had that retcon the last time.
Yeah.
Or 2 times
Okay.
ago
So-
when I missed.
But
Oh.
bringing it to a council of more druids.
Yeah.
But how much you want to say is up
Okay.
to your character. Let's not.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I am coming
Sorry,
through
I'm
clear,
just-
right? You all can hear me and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I'm
Okay,
just
cool. Because
trying to
my
think
video
about
connector
this.
says I'm not connected. So just want to make
Hmm.
sure. I have no bars.
Also, again, off table.
Mhm.
Tolaria Silverhand. She's here, right?
Tolaria Silverhand is here. Yes.
Okay. She's
She's
her
the
relation
higher
to
voice.
her relation to me is that she's like the oracle of my tribe, right?
She is the oracle of. Was it your tribe or was it the village of Cisteria?
Well, in
I feel like
my notes it says she's part of my tribe, so I wasn't sure if I recognized her immediately
I
upon like walking
understand.
in.
I think I had written that differently, but that's on me. I'm
So
gonna
like,
say that to keep it kind of in canon with what you had thought and what I had thought, and kind of blend the two. She has traveled with your tribe before.
okay,
She is more like a seer and an oracle that kind of like floats through the Elven lands. So like probably based out of Cisteria, but also has been in contact with your tribe on multiple occasions, just like as a wanderer and a traveler and like an observer of things. So that way, neither canon is wrong, because I like both canon,
okay.
and everybody
Sorry,
needs
that
more
was like
canon.
the one thing that I was like kind of holding back from saying stuff because I wasn't sure.
I understand. Nope, sorry
Good.
about that. And I
Um,
actually see that in my notes that when I was writing the notes about Nimloth, that was mentioned there, so that's on me.
Yeah, it's all
Oops.
good.
But then I wrote a really cool plot about her, and I can't. No, I'm not that DM. But yeah, so you know of her. You've been around her before. She does recognize you, even if faintly. She knows your tribe decently well.
Okay. I speak up and I say, or I ask. Oh my god, I just had this. 1 second. I asked Teleria, have you heard anything from my tribe? I'm just assuming she knows who I am and where my tribe is and what my tribe's doing.
Yes. They are. They have been stationed around a certain sanctuary in the wood. They've been traveling remotely here and there. That is the reason that Savan could not make it to this meeting, was that he needed to keep eyes on that particular shrine. He was very vague about what was happening there, but it seemed like some type of corruption was emitting from it.
As she
They-
says this, I say, well, I was sent from my tribe to go and find out more about this corruption. That's part of the reason why we're here today is we want to bring forth this issue. It seems to be spreading more than our tribe anticipated.
Spreading? How exactly?
Um,
Is it affecting more than just the land? Is it affecting creatures? Is it
I
affecting
believe it's
people?
affecting not just the land, but also people as well. But I don't have any definite proof on this.
I see. Well, that is disturbing. We had already spoken about Savan's current assignment, but we'll take that into account. And she kind of like ponders and thinks for a moment. Affecting creatures as well. That could be no, but man, I haven't heard of anything like that. And you just see her kind of like go into like this, like trying to rationalize what it might be thought as you brought this piece of information to her. Because as far as she was aware, it was just something that was at that shrine. From the best of your knowledge of what she's telling you. Well, we
Can I
will
tell if she's like keeping a secret or lying or
make an
something?
insight check.
Okay. 14.
14. She keeps many secrets, but it
Okay.
does
All
seem
right.
like her knowledge that she's presenting to the council is forthright. It seems like whatever was mentioned about the plague that she knew was what she knew, and that it was coming out of a shrine. And it doesn't seem like
What
she's
was
withholding from you.
I ask her, what was the last time you've spoken with my tribe?
It's been close to a month.
Did they seem worried?
Savan was concerned. Um, he's usually pretty jovial. That was not the case. He seemed exasperated, a little stressed out. I spoke with him personally. I did not speak with the rest of the tribe, as it's really hard to track the wanderers sometimes. So, uh, more or less, communicated telepathically with him, but I could sense that he was stressed. She kind of looks around. And she focuses in on Magna and just kind of double takes. Like, she's seen your group, she knows you guys, but as she kind of looks down. Excuse me, Tiny Kobold, from where do you hail?
You're muted.
You're muted. You might not be here.
Oh.
Magnus stepped away. Sitting at
Well-
the lunch table, just kicking his feet, like, what? Me? No, let me stop.
I could speak for him since
Yeah,
I've been
yeah, I was
doing
gonna
that
say
the whole
he was
session.
speaking.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I got pulled away for a second. What did I miss?
No, you're good, dude.
No
You're good.
worries.
You're good. It was just funny. I was just throwing it over to you, and it's like, oh, he might be gone.
Yeah, I had
Um,
to get up real quick.
No, you're good. So, Teleria, after talking with Nimloth at a little bit of length about the plague and was Savan okay, she kind of looked down the group and kind of double take toward you, Magnu, and said, "Pardon me, but little kobold, where do you hail from?"
I come from. Is it Small Teeth? I forget about name range right now.
I
think it's
know
Small
it's
Teeth.
so hard. I'm just trying.
Yeah.
To...
I want to say. I always want to say Sharp Teeth, but I think it's Small Teeth.
Yeah.
It's small too.
It's
Yeah.
the small teeth. Yes.
Yeah.
Small teeth bones.
Magnu kind of like looks at her and like nervously is like, Small Teeth Mountain Ridge.
You kind of see her gaze kind of glare almost towards you. Make a perception check for me.
Yeah. I mean, I know why I know why her eyes are glazing. Can I make it with advantage? Like I know where I come from and what's going on. Don't worry about it. 17.
Sure, I'll still go with advantage because you think you know what's going on.
Yeah, I think I know what's going on. I think okay, yeah, okay, 15, 17.
Cool. What are you trying to glean?
Like, does she think I'm there on orders of a specific person, thing?
She might. She kind of looks at you. Why are you so far south from your mountain?
I ran away. And I
Okay.
joined these guys, and
She's
they
rolling
followed me.
Oh my god.
Um,
The druid is not wise.
you ran away. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die, so I ran.
I was curious. Why would you fear death when surrounded by your own people? But, I'm sorry, this seems invasive. And Arceus is like, really, Teleria, what are you getting at? Just indulge me. It's not often to see a kobold run away or flee, and more so on orders from creatures that wield over them.
Magnu kind of like stands up. He's like, I understand. I understand. So your concern is with Yggdrasilga, correct? The blue dragon, or is
Make
it
a
just that?
perception check for me.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody else is watching this intently, so that might be the case for people to do. But
I mean, I
Oh,
can try and
absolutely.
make
Oh,
an
I'm not-
insight check. I'm
I'm not-
proficient.
I am
Yeah,
not
I
paying
would like
attention.
to understand what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to try and gleam into why she's poking questions like this, anybody can make an insight check other than Magnus, who's kind of engaged in this. Perception.
20.
7.
Jesus Christ.
8.
I'm gonna roll shit today.
Nice.
Woo!
Cool. So the
Not a nat 20. Sorry.
right, dirty 20. You would see a kind of tension kind of building up in this elf. She kind of looks at us. What was the name of the dragon again? I'm sorry.
I think it's Irkrthilgra or something like that. We can just call her Ear. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, now I'm going to look that up eventually and make sure I know which one I'm dealing with and talking about. You are quite keen, yes. Forgive me, but she has spies everywhere.
I was supposed to be one of them.
I'm so very confused. Supposed to be one of them, but you aren't? But
So kobolds are usually in groups, right?
I'm familiar with your kind.
So she kind of sent me out by myself to be a spy, in a sense. And I mean that's just death. That's literally ordering me to death.
Spy
So I
for
am.
who?
For her.
Well,
For her.
Yeah,
Brian.
for the dragon. But I know I was told stories of a better time for me and my kind, and I would like to get back to those times if do possible. But with her there, that's not plausible.
so Teleria kind of like nods her head down, almost in an understanding. I see. Very well, lone kobold. I'm sorry for prying. I just, in a council this prestigious, you can see why I would not want any spies from the Blue Dragon.
I mean,
in our
honestly, I'm
midst.
surprised there isn't more, suspicion around me when I go places.
Well, be that as it may, and she kind of like tries to get back to the meeting itself. I'm sorry, Arceus, for my outburst. It's fine, Twitter, but in the future, let's not prod and poke at those who have saved the village. Very well. Kind of like passes off. And you see her almost kind of like lost in thought for the next bit of this meeting.
I stand up and I say, I think there's more pressing matters than questioning my group.
You're right, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she kind of like looks off again. Arceus is going to kind of like try and get the meeting back on track. Almost to no avail. As it's kind of been broken by this tension. You hear two more kind of from the back end of the bench. I mean, I figure send these lot to go talk to the Drakes, figure out the hell's going on, what they're doing. I don't believe the Drakes are responsible. That's not the point. You don't know if you don't ask. That's true and fair, I guess, but is there a need to be so heavy-handed? Oh, they'll go as diplomats. They'll be fine. They're adventurers. They dealt with spies. They dealt with a temple. It's the worst that could happen. I don't
We've
feel.
dealt with worse than the temple.
Kind of like looks back to you. Pardon?
Does a tiger with backwards hands mean anything to any of you?
Mm.
And then you just hear Safari on the back end just you dealt with a fucking Rakshasa. Well, they'll be great. They're nothing to worry about. Send them to the Drakes. Doesn't matter. Just a mild impressiveness comes from this priestess of the centaurs.
I quite like that.
Oh shit! If that was the case, we damn sure wouldn't have been tracking you down the coast.
Well,
I get it.
I see. That was your group at the edge of the forest.
Fuck yeah, it was. Who's gonna kill you? I'm glad you didn't walk over our way. Shit.
We almost came over to say hi because we're cool like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Druid of the Wild Earth. I grew up on the edge of the Wild Earth. We were just going to come over and say hi.
fair, and that might not be what it was taken for, but that's fair, I guess. Ah, what a small fucking world. She just kind of like kicks back and smiles. The one who's been most quiet, Elwyn, will kind of speak up. The lady in the wolf pelt will kind of speak up. Lord Arceus, you don't think it could possibly have anything to do with oh my god. Words and names. I write all this shit down and it just goes to hell. It all goes to hell. Oh, there it is. I have it tagged on as an extra note on the page 2 pages ago. That's fun. The one with the wolf attire and things like that. Lord Arceus, could it be? Could this possibly something having to do with the aftermath of Curse's folly? And you just see him kind of like look over. I was under the impression that was a myth. Well, I mean, people in our tribe have claimed they saw it fall themselves. Into the bay. Quite possibly. I suppose that's a possibility, but it's been 1,000 years. Yeah, that's yeah. That's why this is very concerning. But myths are myths, and should be left as such.
All myths
Okay.
have a grain of truth.
Um, to kind
Otherwise,
of
they
look
wouldn't
over.
exist.
I tend to agree with that. I tend to believe myths more often than not because they usually wind up being the trouble that we deal with. If he kind of like pauses. I suppose you all should be aware that there is this myth that during the historical period around the event of Karsus folly, uh, it is rumored that a number of cities fell from the heavens and came crashing down to the land. Um, Again, these are all just stories, but there's a rumor that one had fallen into the bay itself. That may be a point of interest in your searches, although I can't see why now. But it might just be a myth, and you might go looking for nothing.
Where
Yeah,
would we
here.
go about finding out more information about this Karsus folly?
You kind of like pause. Right, you are simple adventurers. I don't mean simple in a negative way. I'm sorry. He kind of like takes out a pipe and starts to light it. I can tell you about Karsus folly. It was. He kind of looks around all of you. None of you are users of traditional magics. You all have your own schools and flavors, but none of you is technically of the arcane nature, so it might be foreign to you. Karsus was a mage who tried to take the power of the goddess of magic herself. The folly was that Karsus could not control the entire weave that he was bestowed upon when he stole the goddess of magic's powers, and led to the void of magic that took place over the land for 5 years. The floating cities of the great Netherese Empire fell to the earth, most notably in the deserts near most notably in the deserts near Waterdeep. But they were not the only floating cities to fall. All magic around the world ceased for 5 years, as magic was thrown into a turmoil, and before the new goddess of magic was born, empowered, and attempted to restore the energies of the planes. And then we had the spell plague as the wild magics took over, and then that was eventually calmed down, and here we are today. But Karsus' Folly was an event where a mere human tried to usurp the powers of the goddess of magic, and failed. Miserably. And we all suffered for it. That is the tale, the fairy tale of one of these cities having fallen into the bay. But there are none that I know of that can confirm this rumor. If it is there, it is either very deep or well hidden. How that is even possible, I wouldn't begin to know. If you'd like to do some research, I'm sure that the cities of Arm and probably Waterdeep would have a library that may contain some knowledge about the Netherese. But
I feel like a city that could fly wouldn't seem to be out of the realm of possibility. It would have a way to hide itself.
But then the question would be, why now? That's what doesn't make sense, is why would it lay dormant for so long? These are just theories and speculations. If you are interested in searching for it, be our guest. But I don't know if that is a first course of action you should take.
How long ago did this apparently happen?
Over 1,000 years.
And you think that this city may have caused the issues that are in Mossstone Bay?
I don't believe so, but certain members may. He kind of looks over to Elwyn. She kind of like nods. I think it could have happened.
But why now, if not
That's
any other
exactly
time?
my point. And Arceus kind of points to you with like a conviction, like, why would anything be happening now? It's had 1,000 years if it was down there. There are many possibilities of what could be turning the bay, but that is what we are sending people to figure out.
Okay, so Drake's mythical city. Anything else?
That is all the information we've readily gathered, been accustomed to.
Sorry, I was muted. Another underwater adventure. I was
Another
adding to the
underwater
list.
adventure.
Hell yeah.
Somebody should really invest in water breathing.
Mhm.
And how you all manage that one is going to be interesting too. But that is something that you all have to figure out for yourselves, as the DM says that. Let's take a break of about 10 minutes right quick. I know we're in the middle of this whole thing, but also, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You almost home?
Sorry, Colts. I didn't want to interrupt the telling of the things. But hi, Colts. Might not be able to talk back.
Yeah.
That's fine. Didn't mean to ignore, but was in the middle of telling a thing, and I didn't want to break character because I would have forgotten what the fuck I was talking about. Do you see these notes? Do you see all this shit? I have pages of crap about this meeting. Okay, it's a lot. Like, I need a bigger book. I need a bigger book. It's problematic. Anyway, shit. Okay, so let's say we meet back here around 4:30.
Yeah.
Or 30 on the hour, or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
hour your hour is. You know, I'm really just gonna start saying minute times. So I'm like, oh no, Coach
Yeah.
is gone.
He's
No,
probably
I think
he's
he's
switching.
he's
switching.
switching. I
over.
know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I'm just giving shit. That's why it's like, no, we had him, and then I talked to him, and he's gone. Damn me. Anyway, we'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say
game
4.
ideas.
Let's say 35 because I've got to make sure everything's not going to hell.
I have
Group
so many
name
fucking
ideas.
questions.
Yeah, I made a text on. Oh, what questions you got? Anything we can
Oh my
answer?
god. No, no, but like I don't like I was expecting to walk into this meeting like, oh yeah, here's what's happening. The forest is kind of getting all weirded up and stuff. Nimloth, what do you have to say about this? And instead it's like, yeah, there's like a sunken city and some drakes. And it's like, okay, what does that mean?
It means that there's multiple problems going on. We have to pick
Yeah.
which ones we
Yeah.
want to solve.
It's a full world that still revolves while we are trying to do things.
Yes.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, so
Full
this
worlds are the best.
I love it.
It's nice that like the my tribe's corruption problem is not like the problem, but
It's
man,
one of
like
many problems.
I don't even know where to go from here. Like I don't even know what questions to ask next.
Well, I mean, like, there's
Like,
always like, so we have three things that come out of this, right? It's what kind of
Yeah.
support we can get to do these things, and what
Yeah.
kind of compensation comes out of helping, right? Because really, doing the spider thing, what compensation did we get?
A pat on the back
Exactly.
and
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we got
favor
invited
of
to this
Mossstone
meeting.
and the
Yeah.
invite to this meeting. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The,
Yep.
the invite to the meeting that we wanted to go to, which would also potentially help Nimloth.
Right.
But so far it's not really
So
helping. Like it's
right.
nice that we're here and we're getting all this information, but like
But they don't know to help exactly yet.
No, yeah.
They have very limited information.
Right. So maybe we need
Which
to be
is
a bit more
also really
upfront and
concerning.
honest. Maybe we need to be more upfront and honest so that we can get support and understand what we need to do, or if there's somewhere we can go to get information on what we need to do. Because
Well, I
right now,
guess-
their only concern is there's corruption in the forest. Like you brought up, they haven't heard that it can affect people or things, or creatures.
Yeah, and I didn't want to say that if like that's why I was concerned if Telfaria was keeping stuff from us because I didn't know like is she is she being vague on purpose?
I think
or
she's.
does she
I
just
think.
not know?
I think she's like a leader of stuff and therefore has secrets.
Well, yeah, but like in particular moment, like is she lying about things or keeping things from us, or from me really, that she may or may not know about the tribe, which I guess I didn't. I guess I couldn't glean that from her, but
I mean, your 14 was enough to glean that she seems to be telling you everything she knows, if that helps.
yeah, it definitely helps. It just makes it a little bit more confusing, I guess. Like what else is going on?
Plague thing, man. Gotta
Yeah,
figure
it's
it out as we go.
Right.
yeah.
So I think
Yeah, you're right,
what
yeah.
we need to glean out of this is like clearly to do your tribe's thing, we need to figure out
Mhm.
what kind of support we can get to do it. For other things, it comes down to what's the compensation and how are you going to get us there, right? That's
Yeah.
from an adventurer perspective. That's what I would be looking for.
Okay. Well, then I guess then we kind of need to like come together as a party and like maybe when we're back on the table next, we'll take like a little sidebar and be like, okay, like what do we want to do? How do we want to go about?
Yeah, and
About
you've got
this.
the whole day for a meeting. Like this meeting is not like a timed thing. It's more like a hey, we're gonna have a meeting as a council, and however long it lasts, it lasts.
And it seems
You
like
can do, a sidebar with
we
yourselves. That's not unacceptable.
Like it doesn't seem like we
Right.
have a direction technically. In my opinion, it doesn't feel like we have like a major direction.
Nobody has a direction ever. It's D&D.
And it also seems like we are their only point of contact for help on this. Like they haven't outreached to other heroes or groups to get help as of yet. So it seems like a lot of these issues, though issues, are not pressing. Does that make sense? So making one more
Yes.
pressing than the other might end up being like, oh shit, we need to reach out and actually get help.
I mean, I already have ideas, but
Sure.
Okay, I'll be back.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Let the DM go away.
Yeah, let the DM go away.
Right, you should be gone.
Yeah, right.
Rabanasta.
Mm-hmm.
Rabanasta is interested in artifacts. If we pose to him that, hey, we believe we might have found the location of a possible mythical city.
Right.
Mm,
Get some money out of that.
yeah.
And he
Money.
already has the gear to get us down there.
Have him send us gear.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We
I
don't
get
need
you.
other people
I
or
like that
mercenaries.
idea.
We just need gear. And
So,
money.
but
Very good.
as a group, what is as a group on table our characters? What is our focus?
As characters,
Well, for Nimloth, it's to figure out what's going on with the corruption because it's starting to spread on my body.
Right.
Like
Right.
I need to figure that shit out ASAP.
So now that you know
With-
everyone's being as honest as possible, it might be time for you to bring that up.
Also,
To the whole
Silvermane did.
council.
Yes, Silvermane did suggest that one of these druids might be able to help with that. Like they're a healer of some sort, like more
Hmm.
powerful healer than the others. At one point.
the lady, you know.
Yeah, I think it's Silverhand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm uploading last session right now. Just finishing up. So
Okay.
So that's Nimloth, and we're all kind of here for Nimloth. And Nimloth also wants to, correct me if I'm wrong, help the druids as much as possible to get as much help out of them as possible. So that's why we're also interested in the Fiery Drake Bay and help deal with that issue for them.
Yeah, because I think the druids are, at least they could be a pretty nice ally for us
Oh,
if we
absolutely.
help them.
When we get back around to the kids, our group kind of needs a base of operations.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like literally going through that in my head as all this
Yeah.
was going down as well. Is like
Yeah.
one, structural engineer needs to come out. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Two, we need our own place around these kids because like this could be like the kids are in trouble, they contact us. That's not only them contacting us because they're in trouble, but they're contacting us because our place is in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Makes it matter for us to come back and.
Sure. I mean,
Well, I
I
was
was
gonna
just going
bring
to try
it
to
up.
get them apprenticeships, but sure.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up with Archdruid that
Oh yeah, that too.
that as a reward for helping him take care of spiders, they take care of this, band of children.
We
Or
help
at
them
least
take
give-
care
or
of
at
least
their
give them
land, they can take
jobs.
care of
Yeah.
it.
Well, so,
The
yeah,
older ones.
give them jobs specifically for the centaurs, like making sure that these are not outsiders; these are kids that we are looking after.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be specifically the centaurs, but
Well, I mean, they're the ones
Okay.
they're in the forest, and they're the ones.
Yeah,
that,
Yeah.
they're like the forest guard.
sure. I don't think they're going to take on a bunch of humans, but sure.
Well,
Are
at
they all
least,
humans?
at least keep patrol
Yes.
in,
Yeah.
in like a larger circle around the kids would be just for our peace of mind.
Hmm.
They're already patrolling the Well-Dath anyway.
Yeah.
True. But they, from what we've seen of them, they don't seem the caring of outsiders type. Is my
No,
thoughts. That's the thing.
no.
So if we
Right.
can just associate the kids more with Mossstone, they'd
Right.
probably be a lot better.
Yes.
I agree. But yeah, like bolstering the area, getting a base probably on the ground, hopefully set up
Mm.
while the kids
Not-
live
not-
above.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, we're talking about where the orphans live, making that our main base of operation.
Oh, okay.
Right
Getting
on the
out-
edge of the
It's kind
Well-Dath.
of central to a lot of what
To
we're
everything.
dealing with. To
Yeah.
Be honest.
I would agree with
Mossstone
that.
is the place.
Plus, free alarm system is always nice to have. So,
Mm.
and then we're just taking care of kids, which means we have to budget out like payment
Yeah.
to them.
I mean,
The other thing is, if we do get them like apprenticeships, it can be in skills that would help us.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also apprenticing some of them to some of our abilities as well. Like some of them want to become fighters, or some of them
Yeah.
want to become artificers or
Mhm.
druids. Guess you
Yeah.
can't really become a warlock, right? You can't like
You
apprentice.
can.
You can't apprenticeship into a warlock, can you?
Right.
No, but you
No.
can become a warlock.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, you can't be like, hey,
You can get a talent for
Well, I guess-
arcane that would sort
guess-
of encourage you to get a patron.
I
It's a
guess you could like,
follower type
yeah.
situation, so it'd be like starting your own religion, depending on the.
Yeah,
right, you could
start a cult.
you could take them
Start
to
a
your
cult.
patron. You could take them to your patron, like, hey, do you like your soul or not? You know.
Start
How
a
much is your
cult.
soul worth?
Yeah. What is your soul worth to you? Magical powers, eh?
Is it putting
Eh?
bread on your table? No, it is not. Sell the shit out of that thing.
No, but you don't have it. I'm guessing you don't have an evil patron, Zach. I don't know.
I mean, that's yet to be decided. I think.
That's
It's celestial in nature, whether it's evil or not is another thing.
Correct.
true.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've not dug in. We've not dove into that yet. Like we
That's
just had the first.
I mean, he does like
First talk.
revenge. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, us as players know that, not as characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that celestial beings cannot be evil.
Not true.
Or is that divine beings?
Divine
No,
beings.
divine beings definitely can.
Yes. I mean, you can be. What is it?
You can
So-
be
Well,
not
evil
the
evil
right
in nature is, I
person.
guess.
There-
Evil
there's-
in
You can be
nature is what I
lawful
meant.
good. You can be lawful good and still do bad things. Right.
Right, but
So,
you're doing that. You're
right.
doing them in the name of the law, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, technically at that
Or
point,
you're
you're just
good.
of the lawful
Well-
sort
well,
of column.
Okay. For example, Tyr, right? Tyr
Mm-hmm.
is considered to be a lawfully good god, but
Mm-mm.
he is lawful in the nature of like you litter, I'm going to cut your hand off,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Right. And that is, while that is lawful, that is not the right thing, or
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not what
Very
some people
lawful-
would.
He
Yeah.
shouldn't be lawful good. He should be lawful neutral.
neutral.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of a sense of that, like like we know that
You're so lawful good that you were possibly evil.
right.
Mhm.
We know that your god wants revenge, right? But revenge isn't always an evil thing, right?
Mm.
Right.
Sometimes it can be done for moral reasons,
Yes.
or at least what the god considers moral reasons,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or god or celestial.
Morality is it's very
It's a fickle bitch.
yes,
Right.
and it very depends on which side of the thing you are on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so
And I,
Colts, just a real quick thing, like catch up.
Oh yeah.
Basically, we're sitting in on the Council of Five at the moment. We're all sitting at the table. They said the guys or the council members said that they don't have no idea what's going on with the corruption. They want us to go explore the Mossstone Bay with a sunken city that's apparently underneath the potentially sunken city in the bay. And then there's something to do with drakes.
So they don't
I-
know the
I
cause
don't-
for the
Yeah.
the reason the
Glowing.
bay
The
has
shining.
changed color. They
Yeah.
one of the guys really thinks it's the drakes because apparently something similar on a very small scale happens during mating season.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's called Fire Drake Bay. That is
Yeah,
the name
which
of
is
the bay.
probably why it was named, because of the small scale thing that happens.
Yes. Yes.
But it's not normally this big or this long a period of time.
It's
It's like
entirely
magnified.
speculation
Yeah.
Yes. On the
So-
druid's part.
on the
Yeah.
druid's part.
And
Yeah.
they also want us
It
to go
could be the
talk
drake.
to drakes, which is not
Yes.
necessarily something
A
that
thing.
usually goes well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Magnu was questioned by one of the druids,
Right.
which was
Yeah.
weird.
and I caught
No.
the tail end of that.
It's not weird. It's just
It's not
that
weird for Magnu.
I would
It's not weird
expect
for Magnu.
Magnu's kind of like connected to evil in a way.
Mm.
Yes. Opportunity
Oh,
for our
boy.
characters to ask him about that.
Oh yeah, I said a name that if you look up is like
Yeah.
very scary.
Scary names.
I could
scary people.
post the name in.
What
Go for
happened
it.
at the treehouse?
Magnu gave 100 gold to the kids. We promised them we would come back to help them better their lives. And we also promised that we would talk to the Druids and possibly Mossstone to try and get them some help or
We
jobs
basically want to
or
make their life
reciprocation.
more sustainable.
Yes.
So that sure they can live out in the tree and be a family as if they want, but they can also earn money rather than stealing it from people.
Mhm.
Which is why we were also considering making it a base.
Yes.
We just talked about with MTC about pricing and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
20,000 gold.
Is that all?
If a
Is that
living
all?
if a living wage is like 2 gold a day, 20,000 gold for that is ridiculous.
That's
A comfortable,
That's
a-
opulent
yeah.
living too.
a
Yeah.
comfortable thing in D&D is 1 gold a day.
hmm
It's considered comfortable.
Yeah, this
So-
dragon you linked is really scary.
Yeah. hmm
I'm reading through it.
I would say like if your characters know anything about specific dragons, not types of dragons. So like the difference between in D&D is like everyone knows what a dragon is and the types of dragons. No one knows necessarily unless you've spoken to them who they are, right?
Hmm.
Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons. It's
So yeah, that
happening.
is literally one of the scariest dragons I think in the world right now, if I remember correctly.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, top 5 for sure.
Cool.
Sweet.
Endgame boss.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, you want to fight a
I
dragon
mean-
that's taken on a god? Let's do it.
I'll
I
just give him.
mean,
We don't
I'll
even
give
have
him a
bar
crystal
party.
pendant. We'll trick him.
Star map.
My star map, yeah. Speaking of which, I really hope you run into that dragon eventually. I think it'd be hilarious. I would try to trick him
oh,
again.
God. Oh,
Give him like a
God.
pelt and be like, "Look, you can have this. It's a great treasure.
Oh, God.
Definitely won't disappear from your
I mean,
inventory
I
in
think
2 hours from now."
we could take a young blue dragon. That's not
I
Now.
mean,
Infeasible.
yeah, now, probably.
One of us might die.
I mean, the last time a party I was in took on a young dragon, my character was the only one that walked out alive.
that's fair.
We were all level 5 badasses.
Yes, and we had the help of a giant.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that was
That was
fun.
amazing.
That is the one time I have ever learned to not be, yeah, I'll go with the group.
Yes.
Because I got fucking roasted on that one AoE deal.
Dude,
Yeah.
I never even took an action.
No, I didn't either. Well, no,
I'm
I
sorry.
survived the initial deal,
it's
and
not
then
your
the
fault.
second hit was like,
I
boom.
mean, it's good. It was fun. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
I think that the big difference between like a dragon and a young dragon is like not necessarily focusing damage, but focusing their weaknesses, which is their ability scores, aren't as viable as in a full dragon.
Yeah.
They're much more on your level when it's like, hey, I want to attack its wisdom, right? It's much more on your level and much more doable.
Alright, so just a heads up,
Simple.
shit's about to go to hell where I'm at, so we can call it now or we can keep moving on.
If you need to call it now, call it now. It's all good.
Yeah, it's up to you, bud.
I would say-
Let's- yeah.
I mean, we can just sit here and talk group names if you need to call the
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
things to
absolutely.
talk
No,
about.
I'm not saying like. I'm just saying like the focus on the session will be broken. We can still sit here and talk and do and plan and
Yeah.
figure
Okay.
out stuff and this, that, and the third. If you have questions, I'm happy to have answers.
Then I'll end the
I know
video.
my
and-
deep focus on doing 5 voices at once is going to get immediately broken by the time Mom just
Absolutely.
came back after 2 hours. And long story short, she left because they pissed her off so much she was about to pop one of them. And not that any of that matters,